I like this. It's just lint soaked with Vaseline.
Nice.
Pretty simple. Put a couple of little pieces of kindling, and we're going to do paper. Paper's not very reliable.
Yeah.
But you can see how it just... And this is the gate. And unlike, say, regular...
So what did you say? That's the
That's
gate?
the gate where you feed your fuel into.
Okay.
So, like, you can see, just like unlike regular fires, you have to blow. You have to be careful, otherwise you crush it. And you can see that the air is being sucked in and it's going right out. So, how much we got in here?
0.8 liters. So it's being sucked in through the holes on the bottom. At the bottom.
And you can see how it's already catching fire in a major way, right?
Yes.
And that's just like, we'll get a little bit of soot now. I expect that with outdoor sorts of stuff anyway.
So have you already treated that pot, like you were saying, with the, so what was it that you rub on it?
Vaseline in the lint.
Right, but on the pot to keep it from getting too sooty?
Regular dish soap. You just use regular dish soap.
So you just rub it on and let it dry on there, and then...
It gets a little tacky.
Right.
I didn't do it this time, but...
Right. Watch the fingers.
Knock that over. Ow.
They have a bigger piece? That should be fine.
So that's almost 11:45. So 50 minutes from now you'll have boiling water. Minus 20 at 3,800 feet. And you could have less flame coming out by not feeding so much in there.
Right. So the pros are that it's simple and you can burn organic materials.
Yeah.
Have you found that there are any cons as yet?
I'm going to surmise, having only used it twice, that the cons will be you have a limited surface space.
Right.
Right, and you're limited by the bioavailability and the energy that you can get from that.
So would you suggest bringing some with you to start things off, just in case?
I would. My plan is to use this in my winter road kit in case I slide off the road in northern Alberta. And I already have a stove that has multiple fuels that I can use. Right. But if I'm stuck for a long period of time or something, this will extend those fuels, which are much more efficient for cooking. Right. But I can actually keep warm. Right. You know. But with say a one-burner mountaineering stove, you're not going to put your hands too damn close. No, it's very efficient, but it doesn't provide a lot of The other thing that's really good, this is like a gasification system, right? It is Yeah. Okay. So you have less carbon monoxide byproduct, right?
So what's creating that? Because we don't have extreme heat.
Well, it's these here's, and here's the other thing, right? It's hot, but you know,
it's not excessively hot.
But like you see, all the air gets sucked in here and here, and it's much more efficient.
So it's a much richer burn. Yeah,
and you'll see once we burn down some of these sticks, that what's left is just basically
uncombustible carbon.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing there.
Wow. And everything fits in the pot. Is that
What's that?
And everything fits in the 1 liter pot that we have.
You could put a bigger pot on there.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I like this whole system that they provide in that it all fits together. They also, you can buy this luminized folding screen.
Right.
But I already have one of those from my MSR days.
So would that be high enough, or would you have to
attach
it?
because it goes right up to here.
Okay, right. And then that would just make it a little more efficient with the
Well, it
with the
definitely
wind.
protect you from the wind if
Right.
you have a howling wind, which is not unusual.
Wouldn't you have to have it raised up a little bit so that you'd still have your air intake open?
What's that?
You'd have to have it lifted, the screen lifted above the
Well,
intake.
actually, it fits right flush to the ground.
Right.
You can see from the pictures, and it's the exact same one that I have.
Okay. No, I meant just from the oxygen supply perspective.
Well, you give it that space.
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
And you can see I'm not feeding in logs. I'm feeding in like scrap.
Right.
On their website, they have a variety of people that use. Oh no, it's still burning. Use things they just pick up on the ground.
Okay,
right?
so they're kind of deliberately picking up scrap along the way, and then once they stop, they'll fuel their fire.
So, like even in the parks,
Mm-hmm.
you can have a fire pit, right?
Right.
So this would be the same kind of thing.
Mm.
Put it up, you know.
Love the popping sound.
Hmm?
I love the popping sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Come around from a slightly different angle.
Again, you know, like I like the size of it. It's like the pot and the stove together probably weigh about, I think the total weight is about 14 ounces.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, like for a wood burning stove.
Now, is that stainless steel or is that
Stainless steel.
Okay.
Seamless. There's no welds on the inside that
Huh.
I can see.
Right.
So we're about 8 minutes into this.
Mm-hmm. So I suppose it's the kind of thing where if you load enough fuel in there, you can go and do some other stuff.
Yeah.
While it's
We're practicing fire safety within
yeah,
you know,
this
community.
undisclosed location.
Yeah. Outside of. And again, there's no, there's no smell of naphtha gas or propane. To me, there's still something eternal about a wood fire,
Yeah,
especially, in an outdoor setting.
for sure.
And you saw, it just, lit that piece of lint,
Exactly.
and,
Yeah, and I guess because it's recessed as well, you're protecting the heart of the flame.
yeah,
And then you have some of the coals dropping in
yeah.
down below the grid and
Yeah.
kind of helping to sustain it.
I remember, many, many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we try not to date ourselves too much, but going camping used to mean almost always a wood fire,
Everything by fire, absolutely. We just
Coleman stoves were there, but we always had a wood fire.
Yeah.
I went camping in a provincial park this summer, and we cooked our supper on a wood stove.
Oh yeah, I growing up in Ontario, that's how we generally did it. Because even then, the provincial parks, you were allowed to burn deadfall for a time, and it's gotten stricter now because there's just so much impact.
Yeah.
But when we go camping, we try to make as many meals as possible on the flame. The whole idea is, it's nice to have a fire, but if you can use it as well, then.
And again, if you're like a guy, like the name says, solo, like if you're like myself, who's gone off and done a lot of things in the backcountry by themselves.
Right.
And you know, you're limited in how far, how long you can go with the amount of natural
with the
gas.
fuel you carry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're budgeting your trip according to how much fuel reserves.
So if you use a gas can, you have X number of little canisters.
Understood. Right? Exactly.
And depending on the temperature and altitude, that affects how efficiently they burn.
Yeah.
Naphtha gas is the same thing. You're going to be carrying maybe 1 or 2 liters for, you know, 4 or 5 day trip.
Right.
And, you know, this, I can carry 1 liter of fuel and then use this for a lot of
the things, especially if there's ready biofuel.
Yeah.
When I backpack, I same thing. I find that there's more of a utility element to the fire that you bring, which is your stove.
Yeah.
But this has that nostalgic comfort element too, with the orange flame, where you could be backpacking and still have a little fire without having to build up a bonfire.
And then again, you'll see once we've completed the boil, how within 60 seconds, this whole system is cooled down enough for you to, you know?
Right.
And again, like what is left over is not embers, not coals. It burns it right down.
You think we need to add some more in there?
Yeah. When I'm putting a little like 1.5 inch, 2 inch pieces in there, right?
I guess in a lot of ways this is also safer than just having a ground fire as well, right?
Sorry?
It's safe than having a regular ground fire, trying to make your own fire pit.
Yeah.
And then there's zero impact as far as, so it's still a leave no trace approach to...
Like you said, once you see what's left at the bottom, it's ash.
Wow.
Like you can mix it into the ground. And,
and it's all organic, so it's going to be beneficial. Now we're cooking.
Not just a few pieces.
You can hear some...
and I'm sure there's people, like if you used things like titanium, you definitely can lighten up and, you know.
Do they offer a titanium version?
No, it's just stainless steel. You know, the pot.
Yes.
But I have a titanium kettle, a little kettle someplace.
Right.
I'm gonna see if it fits and everything. But
The other aspect of this too is so many of the backcountry stoves, they do produce high BTU, but you don't have a tremendous amount of control over it. So, so it's so it's nice to you can actually make a meal with a little bit less heat and actually cook a meal versus just boiling water to rehydrate some freeze-dried stuff. When it picks up on the burn, it just goes through the fuel so quickly. Did we lose it?
No. Won't lose it. See?
It's yeah. It's just amazing how efficient it consumes the fuel. I think we were approaching a burn just a second ago. At the last build up. A boil, I should have said.
So we'll let this burn go down, and that will be, I bet you, our kettle is starting to steam here.
Yes,
see?
it is, yep.
I'll have a look. That'll break the pressure, but there it is.
Oh,